Hey, what is going on? What's going on, crypto people? What is going on, crypto people? Listen, it is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Holy moly, what is going on right now? What's going on? Crypto Twitter is crazy. Crypto Twitter right now is just cray. It really is crazy what's going on right now. It is something to behold. Well, guys, listen, we're going to get into it. This is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. John Deaton is all over crypto Twitter. Just constantly not letting go, as pit bulls tend to do, not let go of hashtag Gary Gensler is not your friend. Is not your friend. Interesting stuff. We're going to go over the numbers. Where's my CoinGecko? I don't have my CoinGecko up. We're going to go over the numbers and go over this market because the market is doing what the market does. I saw somebody tweet out that the market crashed a little bit in the last 20 hours or so. I haven't seen that. I haven't noticed that. I'm taking the crypto Sasha approach. Just accumulating that songbird and flare. Just accumulating that songbird and flare. Wow, crazy. Absolutely crazy what's going on. That doesn't look too bad. I'm going to refresh again, but I think that's not too bad on the total cryptocurrency market cap. We'll look at that. We'll look at that for sure. Shout out to XRPL Labs. Shout out to Hugo Filion and Flare Networks and the team over there on the move with a purpose of not making blockchains overly complicated databases. On the move to change that. With a big time mission, with big time technology. That is something. I'm going to refresh this, guys, because I don't know. I don't know if this is accurate. 1.07. We'll cover it. I think it was Wendy O or somebody on crypto Twitter was kind of intimating like the market had crashed. That doesn't look like a crash to me. That's not bad. Yeah, that's right. So there it is. The total cryptocurrency market cap is 1.07 trillion. The Bitcoin dominance is 40.1%. Just to let you know, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down from over $3 trillion. From over 3 trillion down to 1.07 trillion. We can't forget that. Bitcoin dominance is at $22,345. Did I say Bitcoin dominance? Or did I say Bitcoin? Bitcoin is trading at $22,345. The Bitcoin dominance is at 40.1%. And if you're looking for an alt season, that's not a great number. If you're looking for an alt season, that's not great. 40.1% Bitcoin dominance. We're not going to have an alt season with those kind of numbers. Ethereum is trading at $1,565, and XRP is trading at 37 cents. Again, the market is just doing what it does, guys. It's just doing what it does. On the 7-day, got a lot of double figure reds. By the way, shout out to Crypto Eddie. Crypto Eddie said that Dogecoin was made the list made the list for the ISO 20022 list that she shared that she talked about. I don't know enough about it, but Doge made it. And I guess she was kind of leaning in towards that some would suggest that it's only 2 or 3 cryptos, that it's XRP, XLM, Algo, and XDC. She named off a few. She named Solana, I believe, as well. And that madness of a blockchain. Hey, you want to talk about an overly complicated database? You want to talk about? I'm not saying this, but if you want to suggest that blockchains are worthless, I'm not saying that. But if you want to suggest that because the powers to be can come in and do whatever they want when they want, Solana is what's going on over there. But apparently she read it off. She read the list off kind of quick. She read off some of the digital assets from that list kind of quick. But I remember she said Solana, she said Doge. I mean, to the disrespectful, it's Dogecoin, to those who tend to be disrespectful. But she said Dogecoin made that ISO 2002 list. That's something right there. That is something. And I have to agree with her when she said she put a smile on her face. That fact that Doge made it puts a smile on my face as well. Because in the end, it is always going to be about network adoption. Always. Just ask the fine art people. People think it's about technology. Give me a break. It's awesome if you got it. Technology is certainly awesome and it's amazing. And some might argue that's the foundation. Some might argue that it's the cherry on the top. But network adoption is the one. It don't matter about the technology if you don't have the network effect. If you don't have network adoption, it don't matter. Just ask all those smart people that work at biotech firms with all kind of breakthrough technology. They got all kinds of great stuff. It would blow your mind. What's the problem? Nobody knows about it. That's the problem. There's no network effect. There is no getting it out to the masses for adoption. That's the truth right there. I went on a rant. I went on a rant. John Deaton is in the news. We're going to see a lot more strategic combinations, is a quote unquote from Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton said this in an interview. Jay Clayton, I think, is on this digital assets subcommittee thing. At least he was meeting prior to it with some of the people from the subcommittee. I think he's on it. The researchers in the community will probably find out. But I believe Jay Clayton is on it. Traditional financial players are starting to think about acquisitions of distributed ledger or blockchain companies. Now, just as Charles Payne and I discussed, said John Deaton, crush crypto so legacy players can buy. Now, this is what Clayton said. These are Clayton's words. We're going to see a lot more strategic combinations. He used the word combinations. Funny. Clayton said in an interview, he also said traditional financial players are starting to think about acquisitions of distributed ledger or blockchain companies. That's interesting. It's interesting. I won't go in on that, but Kevin Cage put this out, and I think I have this saved as well, but Kevin Cage shared just with the community. Coinbase announces the acquisition of One River Digital Asset Management. Why does that sound familiar? Was that a place that Clayton worked? I think so. I think Clayton at one time, Jay Clayton, former SEC chair, I believe he worked at One River Digital Asset at one time, either when he left the SEC and he went somewhere or prior to coming. Let me know in the comments, but I believe he worked at One River. I believe that was the one. So this is an interesting article. Ralph Economist shared this with us. This is an article coming out of an entity in Hong Kong, which is interesting. But let me do this. Let me do that. And talks about the company Ripple, but it's in context. Let me get a context. So Ralph Economist says, interesting article out of Hong Kong noting regulatory developments set to reduce which digital assets that can be offered on the VATPs, they call them VATP platform. Mentions Ripple in the lawsuit. This is significant, and its lawsuit. This is significant given Hong Kong's role as one of the major FX hubs and demonstrates the damage the SEC is causing. I think what he highlights here is very interesting from the article. This is from the article. However, it is expected that retail access to virtual asset trading on licensed virtual asset trading platforms will remain very restricted at the initial stage due to the quote unquote eligible large cap virtual asset requirement and non-securities nature requirement proposed by the SFC, which is our version of the SEC, one would argue, which would restrict retail investors to Bitcoin. You know that thing with the inferior technology that the content creators want to constantly keep putting, think is a big deal. Bitcoin. And a very limited suite of mainstream tokens, if any, would restrict retail investors to Bitcoin and a very limited suite of mainstream tokens, if any, given that high-profile actions have been taken by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission against some of the long-existing, they say cryptos, I'll say digital assets, e.g., they say ripples. Ripples, we'll say XRP. And some even start to question the nature of Ethereum after it has changed from the proof of work to proof of stake. It remains to be questionable which remaining tokens can be safely opined as a non-securities token. Get it, right? You get the big picture, right? Guys come together. One nation's SEC is another's SFC. They come together and figure out how they're gonna, try to put things in place, right? Because the play is, hey, we can't have the masses making their own choices for a form of money. However, they seem to add Bitcoin in there. Is it because they come to the conclusion that they can't strong arm the technology? Is that the reason? Interesting stuff. But trust and believe, like Jay Clayton, like John Deaton has said, many, many times, and we totally agree. They ushered Gary Gensler to the front of the room for us, you and I, the liquidity pool. They want to have us walk back into their liquidity pool because we walked away from it. Period, point blank, full stop. That's what they wanted to do. And they cried to Congress, and they used their dollars to back up their tears to do that very, very thing. That for us in the US, would it surprise any of us if they went the accredited investor route to protect investors? Would it surprise you? The thing that they make up, accredited investor, which is another form of theft, because the government can, when and whenever they want to, take something from you. They'll just call it an accredited investor status, which takes away the average person, the masses' ability to invest their money the way that they would like to invest their money. Just like taxation, just like inflation, all things that the government can do whenever they want, because they have the ability to do so, which is just forms of theft. Take it away. Doesn't make your dollars worthless. If it did, everybody would be burning their dollars. Right? Here's the full thing here from Coinbase about this interesting acquisition of One River Management. It's interesting to me. But anyway, Coinbase says, Coinbase has made a strategic acquisition of One River Digital Asset Management. This acquisition marks the formation of Coinbase Asset Management formation and will enable additional institutional access to the crypto economy or crypto economy. Well, it's crypto economy, right? Interesting. Coinbase and One River, Coinbase acquired One River. But we got a crypto pack at about $500,000 in there. And we're wondering why Congress is not in a hurry to implement legislation in favor of the digital asset space. Crypto Sasha put this out, and there's this response to Thinking Crypto's tweet. Tony Edwards. I hope you're doing well, Tony. By now, everyone should know that corrupt regulator, this is Tony Edwards saying this. By now, everyone should know that that corrupt regulator, Gary Gensler, does not care about retail investors. He cares about protecting the banking incumbents and pocketing the millions he gets from shaking down companies. Even the judge is calling out the SEC and their nonsense. Who is Thor Maximus? Let me see something here. Oh, that is Thinking Edwards hashtag for Gary Gensler. Voyager bankruptcy judge says he is absolutely shocked by the SEC's objection to Binance US deal. I didn't hear about that. This is what the judge said. Let me read this article real quick. This is an interesting little find here. This is from Coinbase. Voyager bankruptcy judge says he is absolutely shocked by the SEC's objection to the Binance US deal. Judge Michael Wiles gave short shrift to idea that VGX token could be unregistered security. Could be an unregistered security. This is from CoinDesk. So, you take that with some, grain of salt, but some quotes from the judge. I mean, you can't misquote a judge. You don't want to do that. So let's go on with the article. U.S. Bankruptcy Court Judge Michael Wiles appeared heavily skeptical about an attempt by the SEC to stop a purchase by Binance US of assets of defunct crypto lender Voyager Digital. Well, will you look at there? Finally, some people in the judicial system calling it for what it is. He said he heavily skeptical about this attempt by the SEC to stop the Binance US and Voyager deal. So he said this of defunct crypto asset in a Thursday court hearing. The securities regulator said that the 1.2 billion should be blocked because Voyager's token could constitute an unregistered security. This is the quote from the judge. I mean, this is next level. This is the judge saying that. You come in here and tell me that I should stop everybody in their tracks because you might have an issue? Go. Whoa, that needs to be covered. This is what the judge said, addressing counsel for the SEC. He says, it's kind of a weird objection. Wiles, who is with the Southern District Bankruptcy Court in New York, by the way, said he was absolutely shocked at the SEC's objection, saying it was asking Voyager to prove a negative with little guidance from the regulators. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, Judge Wiles. This is another quote. I get the feeling that this objection has been made as a kind of cover. Whoa. And we're arguing on crypto Twitter about what the government can and cannot do. This is massive stuff right here. This is massive. This is much more important than that. I get the feeling that this objection has been made as a kind of cover. So you can say later that we'll see we raise these issues, he said. You haven't really. You haven't really. You have done nothing. I need to know specifics. Judge Wiles. Judge Wiles. W-I-L-E-S. Whoa. That's what's good, my guy. We appreciate it. That's a big fine right there. Find in the FIND. I know SEC and fine, you want to make sure you clear it up. You don't want to, come across as hanging out in the same places that the SEC hangs, whether it be literal, figuratively, or in its vocabulary. You don't want that. But let me do this. That was a good find, Tony, for thinking crypto. That was a great find, my guy. That was a great find. Crypto Sasha has something to say about that. Let's see what he says. I can't mention the V word. Can I mention? I don't think I can mention the V word. We all know it. And the reason why, says Crypto Sasha, there is a loss of trust and confidence in the SEC as an organization. It is a total failure with Gary Gensler in charge. And until Gary, AKA, I can't say that other V word either. It starts with a V and an I and ends with an S, is removed, then and only then the trust in the SEC will be regained and US will be the leader again. This may take a while, as Gary is taking a lot of heat in order to hook up his banker friends and buy them time. Everyone is getting it. This is a few just don't get it. This is a few who just think Gary's just out to protect capital markets. It may be part of his thing, but it ain't his thing. That's not why he was ushered to the front of the room. This may take a while, as Gary's taking a lot of heat in order to hook up his banker friends and buy them time to set up. And when they're ready, he will set digital assets. He will set the digital asset space free, says Crypto Sasha, and hand them the entire space. Hand it over to them to then sell your crypto while earning 2 to 5% on your assets and assets under management. And that won't be the average retail investor initially. Oh no. In the US, you can plan on it being institutional accredited investors, et cetera, first. Then and only then will pay out of their butt for trusted bankers, Wall Street, to sell you crap load of digital assets and make money from you. Crypto Sasha. I can't say all these B words, Crypto Sasha, my guy. I wish I could. Can't say all the words. Can't say the B words. There's 2 B words. I can't say them. But some people are V and some people are not V'd. You know what I'm saying? Crypto Sasha. Good on you, bro. Good on you. And I'm arguing on crypto Twitter. I got to get it together. Get it together, crypto. See, you argued on crypto Twitter with your dude. What's going on right now? Get it together. Crypto Law said this. Just added to a document library. Ripple supplemental authority in support of the fair notice defense. Jimmy J. Fallon shared this as well. John Deaton has a bunch to say on this. Let's cover that. A lot of people are speculating on why Ripple would file this now. Some people are saying it's because Ripple knows it would lose or because they're less confident. It's a very simple reason why it was filed. The decision is from the Supreme Court, and it was handed down only 4 days ago. It came in 4 at the Supreme Court. Judge Torres could possibly file a decision at any moment, or it could be 2 months later. Or the point is, this isn't a decision from a federal district court and even an appellate circuit court. This is a United States Supreme Court decision decided on February 28th, 2023, 4 days ago. The Supreme Court's decision is relevant regarding one of Ripple's affirmative defenses. The lack of fair notice violates the due process clause of the United States Constitution. People overthink and try to look for reasons other than the obvious one. Essentially, Justice Gorsuch elaborated on the requirement under the due process clause for the government to provide fair notice of what is prohibited. As in Bittner, the government's prior guidance appears to contradict its present litigating position. As in Bittner, many experienced securities law practitioners and industry participants were unable to anticipate the government's current theory. That's the reason it was filed so late. If Judge Torres finds that Ripple offered and sold XRP as security, this Supreme Court decision could give Ripple's fair notice argument a few more teeth. Yeah, we don't want to be in the habit of questioning the moves from that behemoth, that monster that is Ripple, and the genius in motion that is Stuart Alirati and that legal team over there at Ripple. I'm not sure we want to get in the habit of questioning their moves and their strategies. That's genius in motion over there. I've already went on record to say that I have no doubt Ripple wins before this Supreme Court. Well, Ripple wins before this Supreme Court. The West Virginia versus EPA case alone is reason to believe Ripple wins. This recent decision is icing on the cake. Well, that's great news for Ripple, and hopefully it'll be great news for the digital asset space as a whole. I do love this picture. Game, set, and match says ISO GOAT. I love it. XRP at XRP Kingpin. I do love it. You know, this is always, to me, this is always a great reminder. You got a lot of people here from the IMF back in the day when Madame Lagarde, Christine Lagarde, was the head of the IMF. Got a lot of people on the right side of her, you know, all these, you know, people from the IMF and or, you know, probably other central banks. And on her left, you got a lot of those kind of same people, except you got this one dude, Brad Garlinghouse, who just happens to be a CEO of a fintech company in this meeting as well, in this little gathering here together. Then, of course, we got the infamous picture with Brad Garlinghouse at the head of the table, in the front, on the same panel with central bankers, you know, the head of central banks, 3 or 4 of them. And Brad Garlinghouse is at the table right beside them, giving a speak and or talk to an audience that included the head of the IMF. And some people think that's just, you know, because Brad's a good looking dude. I don't know. Mr. Huber's on it. You know, that dude's big time researcher. He says there, yeah, guess what? Sullivan and Cromwell just deleted, tried to cover up their own press release from October 2022 about preparations for a possible future bankruptcy of FTX. Now, how would they know that? A month before it happened. He says, not a conspiracy theory. Check it out for yourself. Of course, he says, unfreaking believable. Guess who did the latest deals with FTX? Our old buddies at Sullivan, Cromwell, and Simpson and Thatcher. Like, regulatory clarity is here. Engage these 2 firms, and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will leave you in peace. What a clown show. I covered the Ralph Kahneman thing already. There, James Rule, shout out to James Rule. I hope you're doing well, bud. James Rule, I found this to be a little interesting as well. The title of this first meeting with the, you know how to like the title and give a little kind of context to what this meeting is going to be about. You know how these guys do it. I know I spent a few decades there, so I kind of get an idea how they operate in government service. So it says this is the financial services, the coincidence or coordinated. That's the title of the meeting. That's the coincidence or coordinated. The administration's attack on the digital asset ecosystem. This is from the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services, Democrats, Financial Advisors Services, house.gov. Coincidence or coordinated? James Rule says, I wonder if Gary Gensler is going to be there. Here's my answer. I seriously doubt it. Jimmy James Filan shared this. Ripple files a letter regarding the recent Supreme Court case that supports Ripple's fair notice defense. This opinion strongly supports defendants' fair notice defense because the government's prior guidance appears to contradict its present litigating positions. So this is something that was quoted from the Ripple defense. Shout out to Jimmy James Filing for sharing this. I'm telling you, Ripple is just genius in motion, guys. Just genius in motion. I'm going to wrap it up here. It has been a while, but I wanted to come to you and kind of share. Look, we're early in this space. We are early. That's a blessing. And it can be a curse at times, but it's a blessing if you got the resolve. If you got the resolve to level up your IQ in XRP, if you got a resolve to level up your IQ on the digital asset space, if you had the resolve to level up your IQ on the traditional financial space, you can win here. The crypto seeds is on the hunt. We've been hunting projects 90 to 99% down from their all-time high. Not financial advice. This is just what the crypto seeds is doing. Don't make sure you don't do what I do. Make sure whatever you do is based upon you coming up with your own conclusions because you did your homework and you did your due diligence. Well, we're blessed. We are blessed because we're playing a game. I'm telling you, we're playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we are winning. It may not feel like it, but we are winning. You hold assets that financial institutions would look that are praying that they can get their hands on. They can't yet. They've been kind of pinned down a little bit. Right? They can't yet, but we haven't. We got access to them. That's a blessing for sure. Guys, listen, this wraps up your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor. Would you hit that like button? Smash that like button for me. It helps with the algorithm on YouTube. We need a new 1%. Hitting that like button gets this channel out to other people hanging out. It gets the channel out to the bank teller and the landscaper, to the UPS driver who don't even know about this digital asset space. If you want a new 1%, you can do your part by hitting that like button. And if you've been hanging out for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys this, that old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog at their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.